All right, Dr. Farron, are you ready for the Saturday edition of Getting Ready Live? This is day number 7, right?
Yeah, I believe it is. I am so ready for this Saturday night. Absolutely.
All right, so definitely Getting Ready Live on Saturday night edition. I've never done a Saturday. I'm ready to go. So what do you want to tell about the summit before we go into our first segment?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm excited to be here on a Saturday night. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching the recording of it because you had plans Saturday, thank you for watching the recording of it. Also, we're excited to have you here. So we're really excited. 6 days away from the Virtual Wellness Summit. It is Friday, March 22nd and 23rd. We have been planning since probably the end of October for the Virtual Wellness Summit. And here it is coming to fruition. I mean, dreams really do come true. And that is really what we're having happen. And I'm excited about that. We have 23 presenters, 26 presentations that will be had over a 2-day period. You can join us 9 a.m. Central Time through 3:30 Central Time on those 2 days. Tickets are on sale right now. They are available for $159 for 2 days of great information, or $89 for 1 day passes. And there's so many amazing topics that are here at the Virtual Wellness Summit. And we really were going through when we planned this, and we were looking for people in different categories, that had health and fitness, that had mental wellness, a spiritual wellness piece, kind of a lifestyle piece, also like with skills that have, like time management and things like that built inside it. So lots of different components for you. We have meditation, we have yoga, we have burnout, parenting, leadership skills, so many different skills. And we've been highlighting the presenters over the last 6 days previously. So a couple of things, if you missed those, you can go to Damian's feed, my feed, and you can see the past events on there, but you can also subscribe to Creative Living Ideas YouTube channel. So I own a company called Creative Living Ideas, have had it for about 4 years, have really enjoyed it, have put out some really great content on parenting, content for teachers, and content for anyone who's interested in any form of wellness. And so I have a YouTube channel, so subscribe to that. Also, because you're able to click that, get to that, or get a notification when we upload a new video that we have coming. So check it out. The presenters have been so fun to talk to this week. Don't you think, Damian?
Yeah, and I was so excited and introduced to talk about the summit. I didn't introduce myself. I am Damian Kinsey, the co-creator of the Virtual Wellness Summit, along with Dr. Tania Farron. And I am the host of this Getting Ready Live, along with a whole list of other things. And we'll get into those as we go on in this conversation. Here's the link to the summit. You can actually click that, get that link to the summit, click the QR code, get your tickets to the Virtual Wellness Summit. And we also have somebody else we want to introduce and bring up. We have at this point, he's a regular, Dwight. Welcome.
He's our regular co-host, Dwight.
Let's go. Come on now. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? Let me bring this down a little bit. There we go.
Right.
How
Dwight, you want to introduce
Happy
yourself?
Saturday. Of course. My name is Dwight Thompson, aka the Right Warrior. Blessings, one love always. I just realized my name is cutting off my entire face right there. Okay, I'm gonna fix that as we talk. But no, so it's a blessing and a wonder to be here. It's a Saturday. We are amongst the living, right? So it's a wonderful thing. So many of us did not wake up to see the sunrise. So we also must be grateful for what we have. And it's a beautiful time to be alive. We have survived COVID. 4 years ago, COVID rocked the world, right? I was working with the government. We shut down. No one was prepared. No one knew what was happening. There was no information to be found. People were getting sick. People were dying. A moment of silence for those we have lost. And those of us who are living carry on the torch. So I'm happy to be here, happy to be presenting poetry as mental health and just helping everyone tap in to who you are within. Because that's what really matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dwight, it's been such fun getting to know you. Damian and I were talking just a minute ago about, just the fun we've had these last 6 days. And, I know you and I had connected a while ago talking about our love of writing, and we got all excited sharing our book, Sunscreen. This is my cover, your cover. How'd you do that? How'd you do this? And we had such fun together, and then we got to do this together. So it's been really a great friendship that has been able to be ignited from just connecting with each other. So I absolutely love that. Love that. Yes.
Always.
Thank you, David, for being here also, and other LinkedIn users for being here tonight. We greatly appreciate you being here. Damian, are we ready to start our pouring on segment? He's grinning like he really...
All right, pouring on. It comes out of nowhere, just like the rain comes out of nowhere. It is a segment that is geared towards focusing on those positive things. People view the rain as a negative thing. You want to look at it as a positive thing. It brings water, swimming, health. Most of the earth is made up of water, so we need to look at rain as a positive thing. Crops, trees grow and nourishment. So this segment, we would like to use this opportunity to kind of pour into those people, places, things that inspired us this week. And I want to kind of start off with Ricardo from Ricardo Digital. Ricardo, he did some of the promos that we had, which people call commercials, but in the digital sense, they're called promos for the Virtual Wellness Summit. He does graphics, he does videography, he does marketing, he also does still pictures, like some of the pictures you see there. So I wanted to pour on Ricardo for helping out with the Virtual Wellness Summit. Thank you, Ricardo. And he's on LinkedIn and he's on Instagram as under Ricardo Digital. All right. Dr. Farron, you want to go before we move on to Dwight?
I do. I just want to say Carrie had asked to share the registration link for the summit. I dropped one in, but Carrie, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's showing the creative living ideas on my end of the YouTube. So again, this site is new for me. So Damian, maybe you can put, well, I don't know if she, maybe if she joined later, I don't know how that works. So anyhow, Carrie Z.
Oh, that Carrie.
Okay. Yes. So thank you so much. We definitely are excited to have you join us for the Virtual Wellness Summit. And those of you who have not clicked on the link, click on it, look at the presenters, go through, see what their topics are and what they're presenting on. Check out their bios. Some of them have done, most of them have done really incredible things in their life. But I do want to pour on. I was sitting here thinking, I've talked a lot about my family this week, and, I love my family. So that's the way it is. But I want to talk about someone who really instilled some things in my life at a very young age, who is not a family member. It was my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Eberhardt. And she was an incredible lady. Things that I remember about her were her kind tone. She was kind of giggled a lot, laughed, which I loved as a student to see my teacher being happy. And she had a passion for writing. And so I remember a time very vividly. I obviously was struggling with diagramming sentences. I know I just showed my age, but diagramming sentences. And she kept me in for recess. And I remember thinking, gosh, I'm not very good at this. She kept me in for recess. But she sat with me and we diagrammed sentences together, and it was fun. And I got really good at it. I was diagramming sentences all over the place. Give me a sentence, I'm going to break it up and put the verb here and the adverb here and the adjective here. And, I was all excited about doing it. And then my love for writing came, because she took that time with me to really sit down and show me that she cared enough about me to do that. And this is really incredible. She went on maternity leave, and I was devastated as a kid. I was literally devastated. My grades tanked because all of a sudden I didn't have a teacher that cared about what I was doing. And to this day, she is like my inspiration for being a teacher. I have no idea where she is. I do not know anything about her, but she is. So, my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Eberhardt, if she is out in this world, you're such an inspiration and made my 6th grade career incredible and made me be a teacher.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Everhart, for pouring on to Dr. Farron to make it help with being part of the people that made her the person she is today. So if Ms. Everhart's out there, somebody say Dr. Farron poured on to her.
That's right.
All right. Dwight has somebody he wants to pour on to. Dwight. Dwight is on mute. He's saying some prolific stuff on mute.
I think I have a little bit of a Camille-itis. I start talking, not realizing I'm on mute. Shout out to Camille, because she's amazing. Ariella, the LinkedIn community, right? You never know who you're going to meet or where people will interact with your mission and your objective. And Ariella and I met, I think, at the end of last year. We both were doing an open to connect / looking to hire someone. And we started talking about life. And then it turns out she is a closet poet, as I call them. Folks who write poetry in their closet by themselves and they don't want anyone to know. However, a fellow poet like myself, I can see the signs. I can know when someone is a poet in disguise. And so we hit it off real well. And she's also part of our speaking board for the workshop we're doing with Nabil about the interview process, a second career, how to be yourself when you're trying to achieve a profession or career in life. And I just want to pour on her because she's amazing. She stepped up. She said, yes, I'll be a speaker with you all. And we'll talk about, making eye contact and about resiliency when you're in front of the panel, right? And not being intimidated. They're people too. So we just want to say shout out to her. Appreciate the fact that we just met virtually via social media, and she's just a superstar in what she does.
All right, that's amazing. Shout out to her, and thanks for pouring on to her and building that sense of community with her. So Dwight, you said something that made me think. It makes my first question very easy. Dwight, are you a secret rapper?
What?
The distance between poetry and hip hop is short. And the way you were I guess rhyming the other day, it made me think that the cadence that you were a rapper. But before you get into that, I do want to pour on to you for being here all week. Kudos to you for coming up here, being a part of the Virtual Wellness Summit, doing the blanket statements, connecting, collaborating with so many people like Dr. Mel, Deanna, Jackie, myself, Portia. So I wanted to pour on to you.
Oh, thank you. I have a couple more coming up next week too. It's going to be a doozy because next week is a summit. So this is like the final stretch before the big event. So everyone's hyped, everyone a little bit antsy. I know Dr. Tania is nervous, but don't be. We got this.
I do have to say, I thought of that today, Dwight. All of a sudden I was getting ready and I was thinking to myself, am I nervous? Literally, I was like, how am I feeling about this? The way Tania feels now as opposed to the way she felt last October, totally different.
Nice.
Totally different. And I do agree. These presenters have it. It is so awesome. And so it's going to be incredible. Hello to Leslie. Thanks for joining us on your Saturday night. We appreciate having you here. So let me ask this question. We've talked a little bit about music. Do y'all like hip hop?
Love hip hop, but we don't like the current culture of hip hop.
Okay. Damian?
Wait, my memory is always good, and I'm great at trying to stop deflectors. Dwight,
No.
do you are you a secret MC or rapper? Before I
Yes,
answer
but
my question.
I gave
Okay.
up the big stage for the books because I realized I didn't want to be 50 years old rocking a microphone when I could be 70 years old sharing my books and my stories with a nice chair and a cane and just sharing my stories and my knowledge to the world. No one has time to be running back and forth, screaming, no, no, thank you. Plus, I like to go to bed at 7 o'clock at night, and most book events happen at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, can you imagine going to a stage show at 12 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning because you're the headliner? No, thank you. Pass.
I agree. I agree with that. I love all kinds of music. Like I love current day music. I'm very much I enjoy that. I like music from the 70s. I love hip hop. Um, Jazz. I like jazz. I mean, I pretty much like any genre of music for the most part. I even like country. Probably bluegrass might be my hardest to listen to, but I will listen to it if someone else is enjoying it because I try to respect what they enjoy also. And I think that's important. And it makes you well-rounded, you know? So how do you go at the kids' table and sit with the kids table if you don't know any current artists? And so that's where I always like to go. Like, I'm going to listen to some current music so I can engage with the kids table, but I also want to be able to engage with my elders. Like, I love like the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett and all of that music. I love all of that. So a nice variety of music is always good. Always good. That's cool. I would have listened to you. I
Thank
don't think
you.
your age should have stopped you on that one, Dwight.
Yeah.
Time
Thanks,
frame, maybe.
Dwight, for sharing that.
It was too much. It was too much. Yeah, yeah. But I love this better because I tell you what, now I'm meeting other rappers and I'm like, you can publish your lyrics as a poetry book. And they're like,
Yeah, absolutely. I was running one time, training for a 5K, and I was really, really into. I'm trying to get back into it again, and I will probably do another one next year. But um, I was running, and I needed a cadence, and I had this in my head, and it was drizzling, and I was jogging. I would say jogging. I don't really say running because I'm short and kind of slow, and that's the way it is. That's life. But I was being active and I was cadencing the rain on my face as I run through the race. I don't need to hide. I can, you know, I forget how it went. Like, you can see my pride or something like that. And I just kept this cadence going. And I came home and I like wrote it down really fast. And it's hanging in my closet with my race bibs. And it's still there because it was powerful, Dwight, like you were saying, and like you guys were talking about, with rappers, their stories, when they're singing, they're giving their stories, and a lot of them are very deep and meaningful. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's my contribution to this
no, I
poetry.
love that. I love that. And that's actually going to be one of my prompts for the two of you because I want to do a little bit of takeover, poetry takeover. I'm going to have y'all do a writing prompt and give me an impromptu poem of one sentence, but we'll get to that.
Okay. All right. So I told you guys I was going to change it up a little bit. Are you ready for me to ask a question?
Ready.
I told you guys this was going to be a hoot. Okay. So I've been kind of teasing Damian on some St. Patrick's Day things and just bringing up St. Patrick's Day. That's tomorrow. And just little things. And so I was thinking, your person that you poured on, Dwight, had a rainbow in the background. And so I've been thinking about this question. So if you guys found a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you found a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, what are you going to do with it? What exactly would you do with that pot of gold?
I'm gonna let Damian go first because I think about this nearly every day.
Okay. You just think about like finding pots of gold at the end of a rainbow.
And I'm gonna tell you why too.
Okay.
Damian, what are you going to do? You're tooling along tomorrow. You're going for your walk. It's nice outside and there's a rainbow and you're like, oh, there's a pot of gold. What are you going to do?
First, I'm verifying if it's real. Authenticity.
It's real.
Then,
it's real. Okay, now what? Those in the audience, what are you going to do with your pot of
gold? I'm getting it off the street as quick as possible. Now then I have to see if I can claim it as my own, because I don't know too many places you really can just trade in pots of gold. So and then once I trade it in and I get whatever number it is for it, I kind of would invest in a business and kind of support some organizations and charities that are close to me, like Alzheimer's, cancer, homeless, food insecurity, and those things, and the nonprofits that I'm a part of.
I like that. Well, it doesn't matter what I like, but that's a great answer.
That is a great answer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a huge fan.
Leslie said, "Give to me first."
Yeah, give to me first, then the homeless. I love her priorities, right? She's like, just give me a couple of coins, and then
I love her honesty. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of St. Patty's Day, and I'm a fan of history also. So the reason why I say I think about it every day is the full legend is that the pot of gold you find is not your own. It belongs to a leprechaun. And the leprechaun, he's going to come for you because he wants his pot of gold, and he's going to ask you a question. If you answer the question correctly, you get the pot of gold. But if not, he's going to take his little stick and beat you with it. So that's why I'm in a conundrum. I want the gold, but I don't want to beat him. So I think I'm going to side with Damian. Damian, this sounds like Shark Tank now. If you're willing to go half and half and take half the risk, and split it that way, I'm with you on that. You got to take half the beating too, though, just to be fair.
I'm okay.
I think I would be able to negotiate that. I think I would probably be able to negotiate with the leprechaun if there
there you go.
Was
there
one.
You
we
go.
could probably negotiate some kind of a deal. And then, I agree, I might, buy a thing or two like Leslie and then really do some good with it. That's definitely the best. It's the best feeling, isn't it? To be able to help somebody else out or just to do nice things, I mean, literally today I was in the airport and I know Jackie's listening. She can't hear, but I'm going to say this anyway. So Jackie is presenting at the Virtual Wellness Summit. Jackie does Tripping with Jax. Jackie has a TikTok account that she says she doesn't do much on, but I've watched some of her TikToks. And she's got travel hacks that are great. And one of them is bring your own water bottle. I hate paying $8 for a bottle of water. I hate it. It drives me crazy. I don't understand why it's so expensive. But she said, bring your water bottle empty. It gets through TSA. And then you can fill it up at the bottle fillers in the I've done it on the last 2 flights. It's awesome. And then you kind of have a drinking cup wherever you're at, instead of like a little hotel cup. Anyhow, great tip. But I was in the airport today and it was just, like people were just nice. And that is so nice. So like we were waiting in line for a rental car and the lady next to me says, well, I think if I go over to this rental car place, I could probably get it cheaper than that. But I'm in line here. And I said, I'll just hold your spot. Go do if you need to.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And so she was like, oh, would you really? I'm like, Yes, like there's 10 people in front of us. What is it going to matter? But then other people were reciprocating those similar things to one another, helping each other out with their luggage. And it's really nice just to see like niceties that are happening, in the world. And I think paying attention to that and looking at that also makes us lucky, right? When we look at those good luck things, those are good lucky things.
I love that because the concept is you generate that goodwill,
Mm-hmm.
right? You paid it forward to someone else out of the goodness of your heart, and that's a law of attraction. The law of
Mm-hmm.
attraction universally says if you don't expect anything, but you do something out of goodness, it'll be returned back to you
Right.
tenfold.
Right. Yes. It was very nice to see. I
And
also,
Carrie, I sent you a link directly.
thank you. All right. Damian, do you have a question or do you want me to continue with my leprechaun quest?
Ooh.
I think it's Dwight's turn.
Okay.
Oh,
Dwight's going to ask us a
'Cause
question. I love it.
I asked the hip hop question, and then you asked
okay.
the.
So this is my poetry takeover, semi-question, semi-statement. So I'm going to have the two of you, Dr. Tania and Damian, go against each other in this mini icebreaker. And the concept is simple. I'm going to give you a prompt. You have to use one-word responses and go alternate. And whoever fails because it took too long to come up with a word, they are out. And then the other person wins. Simple as that. So this is the prompt. The prompt is, describe for me in one word the sound of a raindrop falling off the roof into the garden. So the prompt, once again, describe with one word the sound of a raindrop falling off the roof into the garden. And it has to make sense. So I'm the judge. And if it doesn't make sense, then you're out. So I'm going to let Dr. Tanya go first. It's National Ladies Month.
Thank you.
Tanya, you go first. Approximately 5 seconds I'm giving you. Mental
Okay.
count. Go.
I have like 4 or 5 in my head. I'm going to go with
Ooh.
like tink.
Tink. I love that. Damian, your go.
Life.
Life. I'm going to accept that. A little shaky, but I'm going to accept it. Go ahead, Tanya.
Plop.
Ooh, love that. Damian, you got to step your game up. Come on now. A sound. Let's go.
A sound splash.
Thank you. Dr. Tanya.
I'm cheating and saying plink, but it was already in my head. Like,
That's okay. Thank you, Leslie. You share the points together. Damian, your go. They're teaming up against you, Damian. Come on now.
Bloop.
Bloop. I love that. Dr. Tanya.
I would have to say like a swish, like a swish. Like
I love
just
that.
gonna swish.
Damian.
Steph. Splash.
I feel like that was said before. A little shaky. One more shaky and you're out. Dr. Tanya, go ahead.
She didn't say that.
Kerplunk, like kerplunk.
Okay. A little heavy. I got it. Damian,
Heavy
your
one,
go.
heavy drop.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, one more from each of you. Dr. Tanya, the sound of a raindrop falling off the roof onto the garden.
Blip, blip,
Blip,
blip,
blip, blip, blip.
blip.
Damian, close us out. Prima, prima. As we do in the speakeasies. Wonderful. Well done. So that was my poetry icebreaker. Back to you, Damian, Dr. Tanya. Thank you for participating. Leslie, you get the participation award. I love Plink. That's beautiful.
I liked plink too. That was great. That was awesome. Such fun. Such fun. So, okay,
Yeah.
I want to come back to, a little, we'll do a little leprechaun-y stuff later, but I want to know, Dwight, why did you accept my offer to be at the Virtual Wellness Summit? Like what about it made you go, I want to do that?
It was part of my secret agenda.
Can you hold that thought?
Yes.
We want to play the quick promo real quick, and then we get to Dwight's answer. Dwight. So what's
The
your
one,
answer?
the video of Leslie running on the beach. Leslie, we showed your video.
No, I'm not Leslie's manager or anything or agent collecting 25% commission, but I mean, I didn't see the check in the mail for that, so I'm just want to put that out there. We haven't gotten paid, and it's been running for like a couple of weeks now. I'm just saying. So the reason why I accepted it, and if this falls, it's been falling all day. Never mind that. Was my don't do it, don't do it, don't you dare, don't. So my reason for accepting it was my agenda going into this year was deliberately be more collaborative, right? I spent last year making some social media content, of course, and some networking, and mainly focusing on my books. But this year, I want to be more out into the space. To date, I have done about maybe 7 podcast interviews on other platforms. So Dr. Tanya, when you mentioned the Virtual Wellness Summit in our conversation, it was a yes for me. It was only a matter of does the timing fit? And it did. Like surprisingly, this was the one weekend, 22nd and the 23rd, where I had nothing going on, no out of town trips, no family visiting, nothing. And I was like, well, if it is meant to be, and it is. So, and I appreciate you all inviting me and having me a part of this. And I'm the only poet. Come on now. Poets must represent wherever we go.
It is true. It is few and far between, right? To be able to, to find people who are well versed in poetry. So I like that. Yes. Okay. So I have a question for the two of you. This is a separate question. This is not the leprechaun question. Poetry, since Dwight is with us, would you select to read Robert Frost or Shel Silverstein? Do you know those two poets? Shel Silverstein?
I know, do not go gentle into the good night, rage against the darkness and the light of day and so forth. That's Robert Frost, I believe.
Yes.
Or is it Dylan Thomas? I keep getting the two mixed up. Who is the other person? Because now I'm curious.
You don't know Shel Silverstein?
No.
So Shel Silverstein is a poet that his books came out in the 70s. It's Shel Silverstein, Silver. And he has written, I think, 3. The first one is Where the Sidewalk Ends, my favorite all-time poetry book. I still have it. I always read it to my students. The favorite poem that I had in there was, I will not go to school today, said little Susie Ann McKay. I have the fever and the mumps, a cough, a rash, a gash. I have purple bumps. And she goes through all these ailments and she's telling her family why she can't. I gasp and I clutch my throat and I cough and I choke and I sneeze and I can't. And then she says, what? Wait, today is Saturday? Goodbye. I'm going out to play. So I always read at the end of the day Shel Silverstein to my students, and they loved it because it
Beautiful.
was always so great. And he has really cool pencil sketches in there. So check that out at the library.
No, I definitely will. That sounds beautiful.
Lots of great books for kids. Your kids would like it. Great poetry for kids. Damian,
I
had
love
you
that.
read either of them? No.
No, I have not.
You see, and this is why y'all need me. I'm going to bring poetry back. There are tons of great poets. I'm going to introduce Damian. Now I'm going to have a personal goal. I'm going to DM him a poem and the author every day until the summit, just because, I have to now. I feel like it's a moral obligation. And let me say this, Dr. Tanya. Yes. And I love that. My daughter tells me all the time that all my poems are semi-dark or too deep, but I love that levity in it. So I'll share one of my shortest poems. It's called The Life of a Writer. Children in kindergarten, not knowing the value of the metal their little bodies are holding. Give little Tommy a Tommy gun, so he can pop the lid off of anyone. Now watch little Tommy run to recess, and give little Sarah a taser so she knows the true meaning of corporate sexism and political progress. Poem. So that poem is influenced by the fact that in today's schools, we have children doing shooting drills, right? But the very nature of a shooting drill traumatizes the child. That's the only way you can get it done. And that is a sign of our times. It's so strange. 50 years ago, you would go to school and the biggest problem was making a mud pie or falling off the seesaw. Now you have this intrusive element of society and guns and violence and mental health interrupting a simple learning process. So I'm envious of the author you just mentioned, Silverstein, because that poem sounded so beautiful, but that was their reality. It was a beautiful, idyllic time. Now we have the responsibility of writers to point out the differences, right? In 50 years, look how far we have fallen, possibly, but childhood should be innocent, should be protected, should be safe. The very fact they have to do shooting drills in school is a problem. And it's our responsibility to talk about society.
That is a whole topic, maybe a month's worth of topics. I do appreciate you sharing your heart with us because that is definitely coming from the heart for sure. And a lot has changed just in my many years in education. And yes, our kids do have to go through that reality right now. And I hope it changes. I'm really hopeful that it changes.
I'm thinking about what he just said, and it made me think of a question. So I know you talking about shelter and drills and all those things. What is that moment in school that you can think about and reflect back to that was that gives you that feel of like spring or summer?
For me, the opening of the school gym, because when the gym opens, you know school is started, right? Because usually typically shut the gym down for repairs, leaky roof, all the good stuff, and even though classes are open and you're back to your school, until the gym is open and you go in and you have PE for the first time. And then back home, our gyms were open to the environment. We had the big metal shutters, so they would just open them in the morning time. And just hearing the birds while you're playing basketball or climbing the rope, that's when you really knew that school was back and the seasons were in and you were going to have a wonderful school year.
I would say the same thing, like being able to go outside, for like a science experiment or to read or something like that. Being able to just like the teacher saying, let's just get outside for a little bit, that always kind of gives you that sign, that feel that here we go. We're getting to spring. How about you, Damian?
We were able to go out for lunch in school, in middle school, so it was a good feeling of the playground area / courtyard, being able to go home for lunch, and then also the Subway series always makes me think about school, between the Mets and the Yankees Subway series. So those things give me that it's getting warm feel and vibe.
I get it now. So there's that's what they call the series between the Mets and the who? The Mets and the Sox, you said? Who are they?
And the Yankees.
The Yankees.
The
Mets.
Yankees and Mets. So you get on the subway to go to the New York.
There's
Yankees.
a subway in between them? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, there's a subway between everything in New York, but the New York Yankees and the New York Mets, like you could take the train, which is the subway, to it.
Yes.
And it's called the Subway Series because for years, the American League, which was the Yankees and the National League, did not play each other. So you had to get to the World Series to actually play against the Mets and the Yankees, but they changed it and they have like interleague play, which
Yes.
is called the Subway Series.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Ours is the Highway 70 series between the Royals and the Cardinals. So I get it. Because that's the highway that goes between the two cities, St. Louis and Kansas City. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I was just not thinking. I don't know why I was thinking Sox, but it doesn't matter. Okay. I was going to ask you guys about sports, but I'm not going to now. So this has been fun. I don't know if our audience is loving it, but I'm having a blast getting to know you guys a little bit better. And so I'm going to be honest. I'm not certain if a traditional Irish. I've been to Ireland. I've had a lot of food from there, shepherd's pie, things like that. But in the States, right, if you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, you have a traditional like corned beef, cabbage, potatoes, carrots. And so if you were eating out of that pot for St. Patrick's Day, what would you be eating out of that pot? Would you eat the cabbage or the potatoes?
Well, I'm definitely not eating the corned beef because I forswore meat August of last year. So I don't eat meat anymore. I do fondly remember the taste of a good corned beef with a little touch of barbecue sauce, some onions and garlic. So cabbage for me, cabbage and potatoes.
Yeah, I'll take just the potato. I don't know about cabbage and a potato as a combination for me.
Ooh,
I think it's
a little bit of
separate.
salt and pepper.
Yeah, but I don't know about as a combination. I have to figure that out. So no corned beef for me.
Well, so let me ask this question, Dr. Tanya, as a follow-up on hot dogs: sauerkraut or relish?
So I'm not a huge hot dog fan. I will eat a hot dog. I will. But it would be sauerkraut for sure. I'm more of kind of like that salty, kind of vinegary, like salt and vinegar potato chips. Back to snacks. I don't know what to tell you. I always find a way back to a snack. That's good. I don't know. So anyhow.
What about you, Damian?
When I did eat hot dogs, sauerkraut was cool. We had onions too. We had a lot of variety in New York.
I have a question. So since I haven't been to New York in a very long time, probably like 20 years. Do they still, since COVID, are they having street like the dog trucks, the little carts? You're laughing at me.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad they do because I think that's a cool thing. That's why I'm asking. Like, I think that's so cool. I think that's,
Yeah,
I love that.
they have a lot of carts. Like that's what it made. I'm laughing because it made me think when you were like, no, the hot dogs. I was thinking you probably ate the pretzels.
I did. You're right.
Yeah.
I did eat the pretzels. Yeah,
That's what
they
was
were
kind of
so
like.
good.
It confirmed it what you said that about it.
You already knew what I was going to say, didn't you? Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. No, I love that. I haven't been to New York in so long. I want to go. It's been so long since I've been there, but very cool. Very cool.
So, what place would you go back to if you can go for
like
24 hours?
Like anywhere?
Anywhere you could go back to that you've been to, not places that you want to go to, and you can only go there for 24 hours. And what would you do?
I would go back to Italy, to Rome. And this has definitely been, my husband can probably hear me. He's in the kitchen. This has been my bucket list item. There was this hill the last time that we were in Italy that we sat and had lunch on this hill, and it was a little bistro outside and we could see the Colosseum. And it was so just beautiful and majestic. And I said, I want to go back there and I want to sit there and I want to watch the sun shade all over the Colosseum, like from dawn to dusk. Like I just want to sit there and watch the whole thing. And so that's kind of on my dream list right now to go back there. How about you guys?
Well, I have a pretty eclectic taste. There is in Tampa Bay, Florida, there's a bridge called Sky Mile Bridge. I believe I got the name correct. Sky Mile Bridge. It is the second longest and highest bridge in the US. And I love to see folks' faces when they start driving up the bridge and they realize how big and expansive it is. So I would love to just be on one of the pedestrian paths and just sit comfortably with a beverage, a light snack, and just watch folks' faces as they realize the bridge really sways as you're driving on it. And it goes so high you can see the Gulf of Mexico sometimes, and you can see straight across the entire city on both sides, and the faces of shock and terror and disbelief, sometimes glee. I'm a people watcher in that aspect, so I would love to just be there for 24 hours, again, comfortably with some snacks and some beverages, and just watch everyone as they realize this bridge is something to behold.
That's
like
pretty
that.
cool. That's pretty cool.
I like that. I have two. I would want to go to Toronto and go to the Blue Jays game just because of the stadium, and Cleveland to the Hall of Fame
Mm, that's nice.
for a day.
What Hall of Fame is in Cleveland? Cooperstown? No. Where's that? That's in New York. What's in Cleveland?
I thought it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Isn't it the football one? No, Cooperstown is it?
Cooperstown's in New York, right?
Basketball's in Boston. Hold on.
Google to the
I don't know.
rescue.
Yeah,
thought you
Cleveland
were-
is football, right? Now you're making me.
I don't know. If you listen, it doesn't matter to me. I won't hold you to it. Leslie, San Francisco is
In Ohio. There it is. Ohio.
Ohio.
There it is. I know it was in Ohio. Y'all had me nervous.
I'm sorry.
Woo. Sweating.
No,
here.
Fact check.
I love
Always
that.
fact check.
Yeah. I've never been to Toronto though. That would be fun
Yeah,
to go to a Blue Jays game. That would be really fun.
I've been there
you know?
twice. I've never got a chance to go to the game. It's a real nice city. Real
Yes, that's what I hear. That's what I hear.
nice.
Very cool. Those of you in the audience, I know Leslie dropped in San Francisco. Where would you go back if you could go back someplace? We appreciate you dropping in that comment. So we're talking a little bit just personal things, just getting to know each other. But, we are all part of the Virtual Wellness Summit. Those of you that have been following and listening along, we're excited for you to join us for the summit on March 22nd and 23rd. Grab your ticket. We are, live and in person. It's going to be a great day. I'm super excited about it. We start at 9 a.m. I'm going to give like an opening, welcoming, kind of getting everybody ready. When you come to the summit, grab your pen, grab your notebook, get your glass of water ready to go, be prepared for that. I'm going to start it off with a keynote, just kind of talking and getting you ready to go, getting you excited. And then we're going to jump right in at 9:20 to sessions. The sessions are listed here. The QR code is on here for you to check that out also. Like we've got stress management, energy, revealing your wellness hero, yoga for self-care, eating well when you don't cook. If you've not listened to Lee Forrester, she was on a few nights ago. She is just a doll. All of these people are incredible. Dr. Q, I'm excited to listen to her talk about healing relational traumas, breaking through burnout from Brenda Lee's. She's coming up next week. Building your community through curiosity. Deanna Pelly, how to save a life. She's coming up next week also. Enhance your support network to prevent burnout from Jackie. Unlocking your best self now, and networking breakout room. So we're going to have a time for you to get together and network with other people that are at the summit. And then we also have on the next day, we jump right into sessions right away at 9 a.m. How to end the stigma of mental health, poetry for mental health with Dwight, managing impossible people at home with Leslie, who's in the audience. If you haven't connected with those two, please connect with them. The anatomy of a team, Miss Dr. Sheila's Unlocking Your Potential Using Affirmations to Support Your Child. Meet the presenters. There's going to be a time where you're just going to be able to hang out. We may just be having conversations like this, and we can literally hear from you because we'll be all in the same space. And so you'll be able to talk. Wild About AI, Introduction to Ruby from Heidi Wild. In All You Get, Gain Understanding, Dr. Raheem Young and Sir Royce Borealis, and they're going to be on next week also. A Leader's Secret Weapon with Portia. Consistency Towards Greatness, Daniel. Educator to Entrepreneur, 6 Steps to Igniting Thriving Business. And I'm going to back up to Daniel. When we have him on this coming week, he's got some pretty exciting news. Tomorrow, he's on tomorrow. You're going to want to follow him. He's going to be doing some really incredible things coming up. So come and join us for that one. Educator to Entrepreneur, 6 Steps to Igniting Thriving Business. Dr. Mel is an incredible leadership coach. She's coming also. Noah Crane is going to be here to talk about living a life of no regret. Tomorrow. Good Grief by Deanna Pelly. She's hosting too. It's these people. I always say, you want to hear this one, you want to see that one. I just keep going back to that because each one of them has something great to offer. And then Damian's closing out our 2 days. I'm excited about that. He's going to give us a great wrap up and close us out. And then after this, so again, all of these Meet the Presenters will be on YouTube. So you can go back and watch those. They're on Creative Living Ideas channel, the Virtual Wellness Show. So you can click on that. But also when we come back, so Sunday night, we're recapping with any of the presenters that want to come back. I mean, we may have 23 people on here. I don't know, but we're going to host another live event for them to come back. And then Damian and I will keep doing some lives. We're not certain exactly of what our schedule is, so we want you to stay connected with us. We've got a lot of great things coming for you, including another summit in October that we're already planning. So we're already starting to talk about that and get those things going, as well as other ways to connect with people in our network and your network. So we're really excited to bring these other things to you. All right, Damian's playing with his tools here. I'm right, I'm left, I'm in the middle, I'm backwards, I'm forward.
Sorry about that.
Hey, it's just keeping it fresh. It's just keeping it fresh.
Musical chairs. Just
Love
saying.
that.
All right.
No, and I do want to add that one of the coolest things about this summit is being virtual, right? We can reach anywhere in the world, and you can have presenters from anywhere in the world. And that's fantastic. Embracing technology is how we're going to forge ahead.
Yes, we do have a presenter in Canada, and we have a presenter that's in the Dominican Republic. And so that's incredible also. And it's just amazing. And we're all over the country, and that's what the coolest thing is. You know, we're all over the United States, and we're able to connect and be together on one platform. That's why I love it being virtual. In person is amazing and great, but I love the virtual piece because no one has to travel and get hotel rooms and all of that sort of thing and pay for their flights and all of that. One day we may get to that point, but right now virtual is kind of where it's at. It's working really well. We're able to get a large group of people to be there, and then everybody around the world can also join us. A lot of people have asked about recordings. I'm still working on the back end of that. It's kind of a space thing, with like how much space it can hold and download. And there's a lot of pieces to it, but I'm still working on that for some people who can't actually attend, that just want to purchase, being able to buy it.
So
go ahead, Damian.
Dr. Perrin, you asked Dwight this question, so I'm gonna ask you the same question. I know people will probably want to know, why did you do the virtual wellness summit?
Oh my gosh. Well, honestly, the story kind of went like this. In last June or July, I had this great kind of brainstorm idea that I wanted to do this large conference style event. And I wanted it to kind of mimic a woman's in-person show that I've attended for many years in my town. And I wanted it to mimic that. And I was just going to make it for women. And I was like, it was the Work-Life Balance Summit, and I was just going to make it only for women. And the more I started thinking about who I wanted to ask, I had so many men that I wanted to, that I had met, that I wanted to present, that I knew that wanted to come to it, and so I was like, I'm going to open this for everyone. And I remember coming to Damian and I said, Damian, can I meet with you? I have a crazy idea. And you were like, okay, let's try it. I'll do it with you. And then, as I asked more and more people, they were like, yeah, I'll do it. That sounds like fun. So we did the Work-Life Balance Summit in the fall. And my goal was to do 2 a year. And the reason why is, I'm an educator. There is a lot of burnout right now in education systems. Teachers are leaving the profession. Not everyone's going into the profession, there's, like I said, this could be months and months of conversations. There is a crisis going on in our education system. And, it is difficult. And I really wanted to bring something to them to help them, and to help other women, other people who are stuck in their positions, who don't know how to balance the work and the life. And I mean, it's not 1950 anymore. I don't know if y'all know that, but we don't come home and just have lemonade on the porch. It's not happening. And the kids aren't just playing in the sprinkler. They're going here, there, and everywhere. And we have immediacy and technology. And while I love all of it, we have to learn how to balance it in our life. And so that was really important to me, to be able to find people that had tools for that. So we did. Well, then after the summit, Damian and I had met, we talked, and I said, we wanted to do another one, but we wanted it just to focus on wellness. And so, we really looked at those components of wellness, of what we wanted it to have, and where the focus and the themes were a little bit different, just really focusing on wellness. And so I think it's important. So why did I do it? Because I think it's important. I believe in it. And I'll talk a little bit about this in my actual keynote at the end of the day. I'm going to talk about how you can have it all in life. And, that was part of our campaign slogan, was how you can have it all. And I truly feel that in my years of experience, I've been able to find recipes for success and the way that you can incorporate and have it all in your life. And so it was important for me to find these people and to share it out with other people, because I've said this many times on this show this week. There's plenty of room at the top for everyone. There's plenty of everything. If you know anything about the law of attraction and abundance, there is plenty. There are plenty of clients for everyone. There are plenty of customers. There is plenty of knowledge, plenty of space. There is plenty. And so I wanted to bring all of that to people to be able to gain what they needed. I didn't always know what they needed, but if I brought a variety of people together, then people are able to gain from that. They'll be able to pull what they need. And I really, truly believe in helping the world. And that's my goal. It's kind of fun.
Nice. Thank you for that.
Roundabout way. Damian, why did you say yes? I came to you with a harebrained idea. Remember?
So yeah, I said yes to the Work-Life Balance Summit. I saw the idea. You had a vision, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this ride in this journey and be a part of it. I think it was like January, February last year. You came to me with that, and I was like, okay. I was like, what do you need? And you were like, okay, I want you to do 2 workshops. Okay. What do you want them on? Whatever you pick. So I gave you 2 workshops. You started in like August-ish, like we're like putting it out there. And then the audio rooms were going on. And I was like, you know what? I can't, because I'm doing virtual. I'm doing Finding Your Purpose and some other things. I can't make it. It kind of conflicted. And then we did this like 2 weeks of like audio, like week and a half of lives, like one audio and lives. And we were doing, and I kept like really gotten involved in it, because I was like, okay, I believe, like, let me see where I can help and support. And then at that time we were like talking, and like in the middle of it was like, this needs to be another one before this one. the last one, the virtual, the work-life balance was finished. And we was like, oh, talking. And then people were thinking that it was my summit, and it wasn't. And I kept saying, this is Dr. Tania Farron's summit. I'm just a presenter here. And then we were just talking. His answer was, I believe, and it's a no-brainer. And we were like, let's figure out a brainstorm. We were like, just make it simple. It's the virtual wellness summit. Because what was happening with the work-life balance, you had a whole bunch of people asking you, is it in person? Is it virtual? No, let's just make it simple. The virtual wellness summit. And you were talking about people in education. And we realized that education, healthcare, social services, and technology had the same common denominators of burnout and leaving in drones. So we wanted to create a well-rounded summit where it's supported those opportunities for all those 4 different industries to be able to come in and have those opportunities. And as we found out, we were learning that people who are entrepreneurs were having the same issues too. So we just made it a well-rounded bundle of, everyone come, here's an opportunity. Let's make it as affordable as possible so people can get the support they need or want. Thus the summit. So
absolutely. Yes. And we really did want to make it affordable. We had a lot of conversations about the pricing of it because we wanted it affordable for people. And really, honestly, I mean, I can't take my family of 5 out to dinner for at any place decent for under $150, So, we wanted to make it a really affordable price for people to be able to do that. So I think that's important. But I want to end with this note. I did a lot of this work in the very beginning on my own, and I did it by myself. And it was a lot. I have my team, my Creative Living Ideas team. They helped support me and do all of those things, which was great. But as far as finding the presenters and things, it was a lot on my own. And then in the end, Damian was really helping support me. But my favorite thing was when it was over, my phone rang and it was Damian. And he said, well, how do you feel? And I was like, I'm on top of the world. It was great. It was so awesome. And he was like, are you happy with it? And I was like, I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It was so great. And it was just so nice to have somebody just really see your vision and understand that this was really important to you, and so it was so nice. So it has been great. And, Dwight, you have just been a gem. I mean, to support us and be here with us. And, he signed up for all of these nights this past week. And I messaged him. I said, Dwight, you only have to do 1 or 2. He's like, I got time. I was like, oh, how lucky are we? So that's just kind of the end. Oh, that nice.
Dwight, since this is your last day with us until we see you at the summit, hopefully you could come to the recap next Sunday. What's your final thoughts? What you want to leave people with about yourself, the summit, anything?
So many things. I'm kind of at loss for words. No, I'm not. Psych. So essentially, it boils down to this. We are living on this beautiful round ball of mud and water and dirt called Earth, right? And every day we have another moment to be kind to one another. So if you don't hear anything from Dr. Tanya's message and her life journey, from Damian's organizational and, being able to tap in and be where he's necessary, that's a superpower. Being where you are needed is a superpower. I don't care what no one says. Right? That's a perfect partnership. And then for myself, as poetry is mental health, self-expression, just be kind. Every moment that we are on this earth counts. We need everyone. We need everyone to understand some days are bad. That's okay. Some days are good. That's okay too. And some days are just okay. Blessings.
Thank you for that. Dr. Farron, final thoughts?
No, I just want to thank all of the people that have already signed up for the Virtual Wellness Summit. Thank you, thank you, thank you for signing up and for being a part of this with us. I'm excited to get to know you more next weekend. If you haven't signed up yet, come and join us. We're going to have a blast together. And I look forward to getting to know you also. So make sure that you sign up, click that link, and we want to see you there. Thank you. Thank you, Dwight, very much. Thank you, Damian.
Thank you as well, Dwight. Thank you everyone for showing up and coming to on a Saturday night. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. We have Noah. We have, scrolling on the bottom, Dr. Mel, Daniel, and Noah on tomorrow at 8:00 talking about the summit. Get your tickets. You can be able to pick them up and get them early so you don't run into not being able to get them. I think to be safe, the last day is Wednesday to get your tickets. So with that said, we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same opportunity, and let's get ready. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Have a good evening.